Apparently, somebody else is your number one. Or is or was. During the ladies' lounge, Alexis confirmed that she was Ron's number one.
Hey guys, and welcome to Little Blair, but you know what time it is. Yes. We're talking to you guys, yes, about Ready to Love, but we're dealing with Ron playing numbers game with Chris and it backfiring. Why do they do this every season? Why did the man them start labeling 1, 2, 3 and let the girls know who is 1, 2, 3? Sir, why are you doing that? Even if the girls ask you, who am I number one? You say, listen, I don't want to ever say who's number one, number two, number three. Just know that I like you enough to be able to continue this journey with you, baby. You understand? Baby. Listen, if you're new to the channel, do me a favor, like it, share, subscribe, click on the bell button right now. Click on it right now, right? Click on the bell button right now for notifications of the uploads, baby. We appreciate you. Stay locked, stay loaded. It's about to get, baby, it's about to get crazy. All right, look, let's get into the video. Oh, listen, if you're a returnee, you got the minerals. You got the minerals. Listen, grab your t-shirt too, stay hydrated. Stay hydrated. Why? Because the streets are hot, man. The streets are hot. Listen, let's talk about it. Ron and sorry, let me move my laptop a little bit. Ron obviously was here with Chrysanthemum at the salsa party, baby. And he had had the sense to lead it. I know people made jokes about the fact that he had to lead it, but I liked it. He led the little salsa stuff, and obviously him and Chrysanthemum got some one-on-one time to talk. Now, here's the thing. Chrysanthemum obviously brings up to him the fact that, hey, my friend, let me just tell you something, be honest with you. Who's your number one? Because you've already done told Alexis, and Alexis done told the girls who's number one. Now you see how loose lips sink the ships. Now I said again, see how the loose lips sink the ships. When you went and told Alexis this, and she went and told the rest of the group. Now here's what I'm saying. The reason why I'm saying it's dangerous is because later on he goes to tell Alexis that Chrysanthemum has no depth. Oh my gosh, you can't make it up. Later on, he goes and tells the Alexis that Chrysanthemum has no depth. Now, where do you think that information is going to go? Where do you think that information is going to go? It's obviously going to go to the group, and Chrysanthemum is going to find out that you said that she has no depth. Yeah. So this is the problem. I'm saying that you don't just open your mouth and talk. You have to be very, very careful. You have to be very, very careful how you deliver, because loose lips will sink these ships. Anyway, so let's play a little bit more of the clip and we'll discuss a bit more.
Ron, he started at the bottom, now he's here. As we've been talking every single day, what I've learned about Ron is that he's definitely looking to get married.
So now look at the situation. Chrysanthemum's thinking to herself, what the frick? This guy here was, out here, be my number one and da-da-da-da-da. And all of a sudden now Alexis is telling me that he told her that she's number one. And the moment you do that, what it does is it creates competition within the field. Now, let me be very frank with you. I said this word, have some shame. Listen, if a girl told me, listen, Coach, you're number two, I would look at her and say, you know what? I really appreciate it. I appreciate it. But guess what? Guess what? There is no number two because I'm not a part of the game. I'll never be number two. Now, here's the thing. You never make it out as if you're number two. You don't have to. That's the tact and that's the guile you use. The Bible says, be as gentle as a dove, but be as guiling as the snake. Use your wits. Dropping that the girl is number two or number one or number three creates problems straight away. Okay? Why is it that the guys do this every season, but the women don't do this? Why is it the guys every season, somebody decides to tell the girl, you're my number one, you're my number two, number three? Why? And ladies, if you're asking that question, why are you asking that question? Why? It's an ego thing, right? To ask that question, because it makes no sense. Why you would ask that question? Just learn how to be in the process. Okay? Be in the process.
And he has told me that I am his number one.
Now I got a top three.
So now he's saying I got a top three. So, okay, top three is not so bad because he hasn't said who's not part of his top three. right? If you had left it at that, it would have been a fine conversation. Number two, here's another thing, bro. If she's gone and told the group that she's now number one, bear in mind, to be honest, I can't even say loose lips sink shits for her, because actually, to be honest, if I'm honest with you, he told her this and she's now telling the group. And you know what? I know she's probably saying that to make sure all of her girls know where she stood. She definitely used it as a ploy to say, hey, I'm his number one, guys. Okay, just in case y'all thinking a bit swiftly, just know that everything that you're saying, he's told me specifically that I am number one. Okay, and that's what I'm saying, that creates problems now, because what the other girls are now going to ask you questions, or they want to beef Alexis, okay, straight away. So let's have a bit more of the conversation between himself and Chrysanthemum.
It's still the same.
Chrysanthemum, I like hanging around with her, but I happen to have, a little stronger connection with Alexis.
And so you hear with the question that Chrysanthemum asked him, what, it's still the same? The top three is still the same? Yes, Chrysanthemum. And this is where I have fault with Chrysanthemum. Yes, it's still the same top three. And even if it's not, he's have no obligation to tell you. Why would you want to know as well? But then again, I understand why she's asking, because you've already told Alexis that she's number one. Right, so what you want from Chrysanthemum is, what you want from Ron is Ron to say, listen, do you know what? My bad. I should have never told anybody it's not 1, 2, or 3. Everybody's got an equal chance, and I'm feeling all three of you, right? And I'm getting on with all three of you. I'm going through the process, but it's almost too late now because you done already said it. In the real world, you would never tell a girl, hey, I'm just gonna let you know I've got 4 or 5 girls that are in front of you right now. I'm not gonna lie to you. You wouldn't say it. Why on a competition on Ready to Love would you say that? You feel what I'm saying? Right? So now she's going to be searching for an answer. She wants an ego boost. She wants to be, worshipped.
I ain't going to lie. Right now, I'm pretty torn. The girls in my top, just trying to figure it out. I'll still be in the same order, probably. It's just about, we got some layers to, you know we do.
So what he's trying to explain to her right there is that, listen, the order's are the same, but we've got a bit of work to do. We need to work on our transparency. We need to work on our particular relationship, because there's some things which at the moment, we're not really clicking on, right? Which is cool. I get it, right? And so he does make that point that they've got some issue they want to work out between themselves, and I feel that, because he has to be honest about that particular process. It's interesting because obviously she didn't actually reply about the being transparent part. When he said obviously there's some things we need to work on and being transparent, she actually doesn't reply to anything about that. That's also not going to help her case. She didn't even say, look, you know what? Yeah, you're right. We do need to work on our transparency. She becomes so fixed and hung up on this number thing, right, that now, okay, she ignored the whole, there's things we need to work on to even get you there. Do you know what I'm saying?
Layers to go. We don't?
Okay.
Oh,
We got some layers on.
Okay,
oh, look. You see that body language? I'm not gonna lie to you. She looks buff still. I'm not gonna lie to you. You see that behavior there, where she pulls her hand away from him now, and she's only holding with one hand. She's at the point of being pissed off and dissenting, and now she doesn't want to play ball. And it's like, I hear you, Chris, but you don't have to ask. You don't ask questions you don't want to answer to. Don't ask questions that you really don't like the answer to. You know what I'm saying? Like, you asked a question, you got an answer, and now you don't like it. And I'm not talking about questions that are sensible. This is a question you didn't really need to ask about what hasn't it changed yet. Number top 3. You don't need to know that. Do you know what I'm saying? But because you want to feed your ego at this point, you want to feed the fact that obviously I want to be liked, I want to be loved, I want to be cared for, I want to be special, I want to be wanted, I want to be desired, right? You asked this question which didn't need to be asked, right? That you avoided the whole conversation.
Ron wasn't my number 1 at first, but after our first date, he had kind of like skyrocketed up. So
there you go, sis. It's you've got an issue right now. Ron wasn't your number 1. And then you decided, oh, baby, the hair looking crispy, baby. Listen, Ron wasn't your number 1. And then you decided to add him as your number 1. So there's a difference. You decided this. You wanted this. Right? You wanted to make him your number 1, but he hasn't made you number 1. Now you're annoyed. Again, I still go back to the fact that if he hadn't said anything, nobody knows. You're messing up your own game, Ron. But but it does sound a bit more about her ego than actually being about the fact that, listen, do you know what? I want a better connection with you. It's more focused on I want to be number 1, and I want to prove that I'm number 1. I want other ladies to know I'm number 1. That's usually what it is. You know what I'm saying?
to hear that I was number 2, I was like, oh, hold on. You need to figure it out, sir. If not, we're gonna have some problems.
And not only that, but we're way too early into the journey to be talking about 1 or 2. We're way too early into the journey, on this show, by the way, for this show. For relationships, different, but for the show, we're way too early to be dropping, I need to be your number 1. Like, yo, what? Darling, who else is coming for you to make you number 1? Well, probably maybe AJ. But listen, darling, relax. Play the game. You understand? Play the game, darling. You know what I mean? Like, it's way early. Exercise your options. Have conversations with other people. You don't need to. Because you decide to make him number 1, it does not mean he has to decide to make you number 1 all of a sudden. Because the date went well. Yes, the date did go well. It went amazingly well. But he didn't make you number 1. Because and if you were listening, you would have heard what he said. We've got some kinks to work out. Let's work on our vulnerability. If you had done that, maybe something would have been different, but you focused solely on the fact that you weren't number 1.
I'll do number 2.
That ain't about number 1 and number 2.
That's what you just said.
I'm looking for a partner. Can you be that?
Yeah, exactly.
Can you be that?
That was an energy flip. That's what you just did, right? And she's right though in some sort of way. I didn't like the reaction, but she's right in some particular fact. If it's not about if it's not about numbers, why did you say it, bro? You created a hierarchy. If it's not about numbers, like you said, why did you say it? Wrong words. I think the wrong words he used, Ron. In order to diffuse a situation, he used the wrong words. It's to diffuse a situation, what he should have been really saying is that, look, you know what? Let me apologize. I don't know why guys just be like, this is too difficult. But let me apologize. I made a mistake. You know what I'm saying? I made a mistake by deciding that, by saying those words of who's number 1, number 2, number 3. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I get along with all of you, and what I want to see from us in our particular growth is you being a bit more vulnerable, so that we can really get to know each other on a deeper level. But if you say there's no, it's not about numbers, you're kind of insulting her a little bit, because it's like, oh, well, then why did you say it then? And it's not what he meant, but that's what it's going to be interpreted as. So I understand that point as well, right?
Question.
You see that in me, so.
I see signs of it, but the consistent in it, do it.
Okay.
I think.
Now she can't concentrate on the dance because she's so focused on the fact that she's pissed that he decided to do the numbers thing, and she's trying to call him out on it. And I understand, again, the calling out. You know what? It's tough though. It's a competition. She's going to have to play it, sensibly, and go around it a different way. It's tough to do that, but it is what it is. The game is the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, only thing you can do is bow out and say you're not playing the game no more. You know what I'm saying? And I know that might seem strange, but let me know if I'm out of order for thinking that way. You know what I'm saying?
Her saying I gotta be number 1 in this was a selfish move. It was kind of not about me and my process and what I need and what I'm going through, but more.
And this is another thing as well about it as well. What he just said there, it's like, it's kind of not about you, it's about me. Nah, bruh. It's actually not about you. That's the point. It's about everybody. This is not your process. This is not The Bachelor. This is Ready to Love. This is everybody's process. Okay? So when you decide to move with numbers, you mash up everybody else's process, because now you're causing competition to happen. So it's not just your process. That's selfish in itself, saying that. No, she's selfish too, for also saying, I need to be number 1. What if she really wants to say something, she would say, listen, I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm not a number 2 person, and I don't want to be trying to make you choose. I just don't believe that I'm number 2. Like, I always want to be someone's number 1. I don't want to be second chosen. And someone can understand that, and he doesn't have to accept that, and you don't have to accept his answer if he says, yeah, but you don't have to. You walk away with class and dignity and decorum and say, well, I appreciate it, but I'm a bow out. You know what I'm saying? Just because you've stated now who's number 1, number 2, you've made it obvious who's your first choice. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be a backup to somebody else. You know what I mean? And that's why the numbers game is so annoying, because when you do that, you create backups, because that means everyone else is a backup at this particular moment. They can go back up in your list, but they're backups at the moment. Anyway, guys, make sure you like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button, let us know your thoughts down below. Please don't make somebody a number. It creates backups, it creates second place, and it creates displacement. It creates pain, it creates annoyance, it creates frustration. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notification of what up. Lords, we appreciate you locked, and stay loaded. Stay hydrated.